Hey everyone, so I am doing the controversial parenting tag. I saw this floating around when Cal was like just a couple months old, and I knew that I wanted to do it, but I wasn't sure because it's controversial. So all of these topics are going to be things that everyone has major opinions on as far as parenting goes. So it's gonna be a fun video. I don't want to offend anyone. I respect everybody's parenting styles, but these are just my personal opinions, and it's gonna cover a bunch of controversial parenting topics. So if you look this up on YouTube, you can find all different kinds of videos of other moms doing this. So I am going to do this. The very first topic, and I also added in a few of my own too, and I'll put all the topics down below, so if you guys want to do this, you can also do this. The very first topic is pro-life versus pro-choice. I am pro-life, so I think that every baby deserves a chance, even if it was the wrong circumstances as far as getting pregnant or the wrong time. You know, if the mom is not ready for this, then I think that the baby still deserves to have a life with another family. They can be adopted. So I am very pro-life. The next topic is baby wearing, and at first I wasn't sure why this was on here, but I think it is because baby wearing, I actually found an article on The Bump that's all about controversial parenting techniques, and one of them includes baby wearing and co-sleeping, stuff where you're really close with your child. And I think that some people believe that your child could grow up being too dependent or selfish if you kind of spoil them with that. So that's kind of where that's coming from. But for me, baby wearing is a must. I love to baby wear. It makes my life so much easier. And yes, there are times when he's fussy and I can pop him in my carrier, and I know that he'll immediately calm down and I don't have to be physically carrying him. I can continue on with what I'm doing. So I love baby wearing, especially in the very beginning when I had the Soothe tank, which was a tank top that actually had a pouch, like a kangaroo pouch, and you stuck your baby in the shirt and then you could go on about your day. That was amazing because they're really getting close to you. They've got that skin to skin, and that's really good for the baby's development and their bonding experience with you. So I love baby wearing. The next one is circumcision. So this one is like totally evolving, I think. We decided to not circumcise based on some research that I had done right up before I gave birth. I had totally thought we were going to, and then I found some really good research and realized no way was I gonna put my son through that for just appeal, basically. It's really just a social procedure. It has nothing to do with health or anything else. And you guys, you might say, oh, well, yes, it is healthier to have it off. That's totally your opinion, but I will, I'll try to put down some stuff to kind of back up my own opinions. If you are curious, if you are pregnant and you're gonna have to be making some of these big decisions, that way you can have some good information. So I will have 2 YouTube videos down below that are about circumcision, and then I'll also put in that Bump article because they kind of talk about these controversial parenting methods and the pros and cons of each of them. So circumcision, for me, it's a no. Adoption, I am all for adoption. I think that is a wonderful way for someone who is not fit to be a parent yet to still be able to keep that child's life and still be able to give that child a home. And then for the people that cannot have children, they can still have a baby that way. So I love adoption. I'm all for it. I probably would not personally do adoption since I have a child of my own. And if we can't have more children, we will probably just have a one child family. But I mean, you never know. If we couldn't have children, I might consider it. Baby piercing. I have not done any research on this, so I'm really not sure about it. Since I have a son, I don't really care to research that. But if I had a daughter, I would probably do more research, but without knowing any research, I would say yes, because I think it's adorable when they have their ears pierced, and I don't think that it's a big invasive procedure. I mean, I've had it done, so it's definitely nothing compared to a circumcision. I mean, come on, like that shouldn't even be on the same controversial things, but I think that that would be fine. The next thing is breast milk versus formula, and this one, it's sad because I know not every woman can breastfeed, so that's why it's like it's not really fair, because there's probably women out there who wish that they could breastfeed and they can't. But I am all for breastfeeding. I think even if you can't breastfeed, if you could find someone that could donate milk to you, which is what I was doing. I've donated my milk a couple of times to moms that couldn't breastfeed, because I think breast milk is so good and so important for your baby. So I'm definitely pro breast milk, but I understand if there's no other choice, then you have to do what you have to do. You have to feed your baby at the end of the day. But I don't like moms who either, one, give up way too quickly, or two, decide ahead of time that they're not going to do it, because I know there are moms that are like, it's just not for me, I'm not going to do it, and they go into the hospital knowing that their baby's already going to be formula fed without even trying. That kind of irks me a little bit. Next thing is spanking. Since Cal is only 8 months old, I have not had to think about this yet, so I'm not really sure. I think we probably will spank him, because that's how my husband and I grew up, and I think it might be a regional like kind of thing. I know a lot of my friends and family do that as a parenting method. I would definitely like to resort to more healthy, calm ways to scold my child, but if spanking is one of the things that works for us, then we'll do it. The next thing is co-sleeping. At first, I was like, heck no, we are not co-sleeping, because we went to all the classes and we saw all the videos and, you know, all the research that you should not co-sleep. And about 3 months into Cal's life, so when he was 3 months old, we started co-sleeping, and I love it. It's my favorite thing. We don't co-sleep the whole night. I just bring him into the bed in the morning. So it's not really co-sleeping. I bring him into the bed with me in the morning, and we sleep for about 2 more hours together, and that way I can feed him, and then I can just hold him and bond with him too and sleep together. And I'm a light sleeper in the morning, so I feel like it's better to do it in the morning. But when he was really little, like when he was newborn, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I say that now, who knows with my next child, but as of right now, I don't think that it is safe, because when they're that little, they really can't move out of your way. They, you know, you're the big person there, and you could possibly harm them. So once he was about 3 months old, though, he was able to pull things off of his face, and he was able to roll over and get out of the way. It's stuff like that where I knew he would be safe enough to sleep in the bed with us. Okay, the next thing is schooling. Home versus private versus public. I'm not really sure yet, but probably, I don't even know. I was going to say public, but private would be probably better too. I guess it just depends. We're just going to wait and see. I support all three methods. Homeschooling sounds amazing if I had the time. So we'll kind of wait and see. For me personally, I did all three. I was homeschooled, I went to private, and I went to public. My husband did private and public as well. So I know how to do all three, and I know the differences, and I think that public really trains you for the real world, but public is scary. I mean, there's a lot more, there's just a lot more going on in public schools versus when I was in private school. It was, we were all very respectful, we wore uniforms, and I think out of all three, I liked private the best. Homeschool was not for me. I hated homeschooling. It put a really bad relationship on me and my mom, because we would just fight the entire time. I was homeschooled for 7th grade and then 11th grade, 7th and 11th. So both times I was homeschooled, we just fought. I didn't learn anything. I did the videos and I would just fast forward all of them, and then I would go find the answer book and just write in all the answers. Like, I didn't learn anything. So homeschooling was not for me, but I really think it, I love the fact that some moms can do this and stay home with their kids, and that is just so neat. So I don't know what decision we will make. Vaccinations, we've already given Cal his vaccinations, so that's something I probably would have done more research on, but for me, I believe in what the doctor has to recommend. So if the doctor's saying that these vaccinations are good for the baby, I'm just going to go with it. And I didn't do a whole lot of research, and I know I've had people comment on my videos before that vaccinations are bad, and I think everybody has their own opinion on them. I do like that some people are starting to say the slow vaccinations, where instead of giving them all at once, they kind of space them out. I like that idea, but I still at the end of the day think vaccinations are important for our babies. Next thing is medicating children, and I believe that means like ADD and all those anxiety, depression, stuff like that, medicating them. I don't like that. You guys know I do, well, you probably don't know, some of you, but I recently started working for a health and wellness company that really helps with your gut health, and a lot of issues like that, depression, anxiety, ADD, stuff like that, is all related to the health of your gut. And if you can fix your gut and your health of your body, you don't have to resort to those medications. They're going to end up having bad side effects on your children. So I know that my kids are going to be on probiotics, and they're going to be on Plexus their whole life, because I know that that is what is really going to help keep their body in check and help keep their mind and their health in check. Oh, and I don't consider Plexus a medicine, because it's not a medicine. It is vitamins and supplements. So it's nothing that they would need a doctor's prescription for. It's nothing harmful. It's all plant-based, natural ingredients for helping heal their body, and it's not medicine. Next thing is cloth versus disposable diapers. We went with disposable. I totally support people who do cloth. I think that's amazing. I might try cloth later down the road with another child. It just kind of depends. Right now, disposable is super easy for us, so that's what I've been doing. And I don't like how cloth are so big and bulky underneath their clothes. So I usually try to spend around $13. I always calculate a box of diapers before I buy it. I try to spend around $13 per diaper, or 13 cents per diaper. So as long as I'm in that 13-cent range per diaper, I feel like it's still pretty cheap and it's okay. But cloth diapering is super cool for those of you that do it. The next one is the cry it out method, and I know a lot of people say this can be psychologically scarring, so I'm not really sure, but we've definitely used the cry it out method when we were sleep training, and it's not like he's screaming bloody murder. Well, sometimes he was screaming bloody murder on top of his lungs, but we were always close by and we would go in and check on him. And when we were sleep training him, that's what we had to do. We had to let him cry. Even right now, he's napping, and he started crying about 40 minutes into his nap. So I waited about 5 to 7 minutes and just let him cry, and then he went back to sleep, and now he's still sleeping. So I know that they need to learn how to self-soothe in order for them to get through the night. So I let him cry, and I usually look at the clock and kind of keep track. And if it just keeps going, if it's been more than 10 minutes, I'll usually go in and check on him. Sometimes he might have, a dirty diaper or something like that, so that's why he's crying. So it is always important to check and make sure that nothing's wrong with your child. But as far as just letting them cry because they need to be able to soothe themselves back to sleep, I think that's totally fine. The ones that I wanted to add in are extended breastfeeding and scheduled feeding. So those two were on the Bump controversial parenting article that I'll link down below. So Scheduled feedings, that was something that I wanted to do when I was pregnant, and then when it came down to it, I ended up not doing it. And I did a lot of research on it, and I think that it's important to feed your baby when your baby's hungry, even if that is every hour, because they know when they're hungry. And it is beneficial to do a schedule because your life can be a little bit more scheduled. But for me personally, feeding on demand worked a lot better. Napping on demand, just playing life on demand was way better for me, because that's how I work. That's how I run. Sometimes I eat lunch at 11, sometimes I eat lunch at 2 p.m. You just never know. So that's how it worked best for us. And then the other thing is extended breastfeeding, which I had never thought about until I was breastfeeding my son. And I did a little bit of research on that, and I think I am totally for it. It depends on how our situation works out. If he's done at 1 year, then that's fine. But I think that it's important to let your baby decide when they're ready to be done breastfeeding and do self-weaning, because it's so beneficial for them. The American Pediatric Association recommends 1 year of breastfeeding, but the Worldwide Health Association recommends 2 years of breastfeeding. So depending on where you're from and where you live, your culture might have different views on breastfeeding. I feel like in America, they make it very weird if you breastfeed past 1 year old. But everybody knows, well, most people should know, that it's still really beneficial even after a year. In fact, your breast milk changes as your baby gets older. So after 1 year, your breast milk changes to help provide them with the nutrients that they need at that age. So I think that's really neat, and we are going to plan on self-weaning, and hopefully we can get through at least a year, and then however long he wants to go. Okay, so I feel like that's everything, and hopefully I didn't offend anyone with these opinions, and we can all just be friends and comment below, you know, what your favorite methods are and why you like this or why you dislike this. But let's not have any bad, mean remarks, and let's just all be loving parents, because at the end of the day, no matter what your parenting style is, as long as you are taking care of those babies and loving on them, everything is perfect in my opinion. So thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.